Um, Aviation as a major part of a nation's military force had yet to be proven when Canada entered World War I on August 4th, 1914. Canada did not have an air force, and Canadians instead served directly under British command in the RAF. But Canadian flyers established a record that was second to none, with individuals such as Billy Bishop and Billy Barker and Alan MacLeod being among the top Allied aces of the war and being awarded the Victoria Cross, Britain's highest award for military valor for their actions in the air. Following the war, after 5 long years of debates and policy starts and restarts, on April 1st, 1924, 100 years ago yesterday, the Royal Canadian Air Force was established. And it served the country in diverse purposes in its early years: aerial mapping, spotting forest fires, fishery patrols, assisting various government departments, and exploring the feasibility of flying in the Arctic. And then in 1938, the Chief of Air Staff became directly responsible to the Minister of National Defence, making the Air Force a separate service, equal in status to the Canadian Army and the Royal Canadian Navy. And in the midst of these changes, World War II erupted in Europe. In 1939, Prime Minister William Lyon Mackenzie King agreed to support a major air training scheme located throughout the Commonwealth, but with the largest component in Canada, including right here in London, Ontario. Originally opened at the Crumlin Airport on June 24th, 1940, as the home of the No. 3 Elementary Training Flying School and the No. 4 Air Observer School of the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan, by the end of the war, more than 4,400 Air Force personnel had been trained here in London. By 1944, the RCAF reached its peak as the 4th largest Allied Air Force, with more than 215,000 personnel in uniform, including 17,000 members of the Women's Division. By the time the war ended, more than 18,000 members of the RCAF had given their lives in service to their country. After World War II, the RCAF would continue to serve in Korea as a NATO defense force on the front lines in the Cold War and in many other deployments around the world right up until today. In London, the RCAF station Crumlin remained open after World War II, eventually becoming part of the post-war RCAF effort, and the station became, in September of 1948, the home of the 420 Fighter Squadron, flying the first Harvards and then Mustangs, and for a very short time, Thunderbird jet fighters out of the London airport, until it was disbanded on September 1st of 1956, at which point the base became home to the 22 Auxiliary Wing and home to the 427 Wing of the Air Force Association of Canada. The 427 Wing remains on the grounds of the London International Airport to this day, continuing to occupy the grounds originally, and the building that was originally the 1939 Airmen's Cantina of the original base. It's the last of its kind, to our knowledge, in Ontario. And in 1979, an expansion to the building was added, and today that expansion is the home of the Secrets of Radar Museum, a key part of preserving our military and our aviation history in southwestern Ontario. So it's my privilege today to recognize the 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Air Force and its important role and contributions not only to our country, but to our city. And to all those who have served, we salute you.